It's like waking up on Christmas Day, isn't it? And you got everything you absolutely wanted, and it's as good as what you wanted as well. That's what I felt like watching Rayan Cherki and Erling Haaland play football together. Oh my God, it was good. I've just got back from the Esteemed a little bit later than usual. I was on match day live. It was an awful lot of fun. Me and Luke from MCFC lads alongside Kel. And it was a cracking game of football. The atmosphere was electric in the Etihad Stadium, as was the performance. Lots of wonderful things to talk about. To me, that was an absolute perfect game of football for Manchester City. Okay, not perfect, but a very good game of football given the context of where City are at right now. And there's so many good things to talk about across the pitch, not just, across 45 minutes to across 90 minutes. This was a City side absolutely locked in against a very good side, more than up for the task, and they were really good today. 3-1 against a really good side, the side that was sat in second and was unbeaten since the opening day of the season, and we cut through them willingly, often, and looked really threatening and really solid defensively. Thank you very much to Chaos in the chat there. I really enjoyed being on Matchday Live. First time in a while. It was nice. It was good fun. Just a great game to be back on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hence why there was no watch along and so on. But I'm here now covering the game, and it was great. I'll bring up, of course, the stats of the game, the lineup, and all that kind of stuff after a wax lyrical about Rayan Cherki. As I was saying, look, we've been sat there as City fans for an awful long time, dreaming of Cherki linking up with Foden, Haaland, Doku, and all those guys, and see what he could produce. And I compared it earlier when I was chatting away, saying it's like when I was 13, right? I knew the N64 had just come out. I really wanted Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time as well. And I sort of semi-knew I was getting it for Christmas. I didn't know, but I sort of did know, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, this could be amazing. I can't wait for it. On Christmas Day, it was as good as I hoped. It was life-changingly good. It was like the best console and the best game, and I was absolutely buzzing. This is what it felt like to me watching Cherki and Haaland. I've been waiting for it, and I knew it was going to be the best thing ever, and I knew it was going to be wonderful, and it absolutely was. I got goosebumps, man. Like, we do these videos and we chat away as football fans, but like, first and foremost, I just love the sport, man. Football's absolutely awesome. And watching great football players do great things, especially ones as gifted as Foden and Haaland and Cherki, it's just an absolute honour as a City fan to watch these players. And, of course, there's a way to go for them to get even better. But they're just blessed through so much joy. Like, there's a real Jogo Bonito feel to them. Like, there's so much flair in that Manchester City side, aligned with grit and determination and work rate, that it's hard not to really enjoy that as a City fan. And Cherki, look, I'm going to say this right now. This is a message for all you tacticos and all you nerds. Anyone sat there after that performance going, but what does he do out of play? Does he work hard enough? He's actually not that good. Actually this, actually that. Bore off, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyone who sat there doing that, I've got no patience or respect for you. Of course we know he needs to be better, all that stuff, but if you can't sit there and actually just first and foremost marvel at that ridiculous talent that he's got, then you're just a massive nerd, and you're a massive loser, and you're anti-football is what I will say. Like, to watch that as a football fan, and the first thing you take from it is, well, actually his performances off the ball is a little bit lacking, and he could do better with the high press. Come on, man. Enjoy the football first. Let Guardiola worry about that, and maybe after the game's calmed down, talk about that in context of performance. But I'm sick of it, man. Like, people are just so anti-football. All they want to do is talk about, what is his running like? Yeah, as John said in the chat, the intangibles are there. The rest can be taught. He'll learn to run. I don't give a shit about that. All I know is he's got a God-given talent and a mercurial vision and a wonderful ability just to see things that others don't. I mean, look, First goal's just a header, but it's a perfectly placed header. And the fact that he's in that position in the first place to make the header, to read the game, to drift centrally. The second goal, first time reverse sort of hooked pass over to the top to Haaland. Beautifully weighted, perfectly into his stride. Look, both Haaland finishes are absolutely excellent, but Cherki's where he needs to be. And like, his contribution, like, he has his incredible ability to affect the game and just contribute in terms of chances and goals and assists. And like, some big players, it comes natural to them, and Cherki's one of them. And then you put Haaland with that, a guy who's scored an absolute insane amount of goals this season. And actually, I sensed a shift in tone from Guardiola as well. From Haaland previously, when he's been asked about Haaland in relation to Messi and Ronaldo, he's of course he's compared them, but he's also been a little bit like, well, yeah, of course, what those guys did is incredible, but in terms of numbers, yes, he's there. This time actually, Guardiola just said, yeah, he's there. He didn't say, well, in terms of numbers he is. There was no caveat, and I sense Guardiola previously had sort of wanted to step away from comparing him with, Messi and Ronaldo and all that kind of stuff. And look, I still wouldn't compare him with, fully to Messi and so on, and maybe even Ronaldo to an extent. But you have to put him in that category in terms of pure influence and in terms of pure just aura and presence on the pitch. And what he does, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm just trying to find the actual quotes now, but I can't really find them. But Guardiola is, he's in love, in love with Haaland, and rightfully so. Thank you, Odin. I really much enjoyed being on a City show. It was great fun. Yeah, so I'm just buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. I think that this is is this the host the same geezer uses the last in Manchester as Michael Carrick? What? So what the fuck? Me? As if I would ever... That's definitely not me. I don't you want about, but I'm a lifelong City fan, mate. Why would I go around and tell people, I look nothing like Michael Carrick? No, this is definitely not that guy. Who's that? I'm curious to know who that is. Wow, why would you choose Michael Carrick of all people to tend to be? No, that's definitely not me, I promise you. I don't know who would do that. Someone in the chat apparently said that. That's incredible. What a weird way to live your life. Good luck to that person if they did that and if it worked for them. No, but yeah, anyway, back to the game. Yeah, just brilliant. Haaland, fantastic. I absolutely loved Doku central. Like, Doku drifting central is Guardiola's latest tactical innovation, and he just works. Doku has this uncanny ability to cause trouble wherever he goes, and he sort of played, I'll show you his heat map right now. He played off the left, but he was allowed to go to the right. And I said before the game as well on the City show that I really want to see Foden, Cherki and Doku just allowed to move. Just move, lads. Go where you want to, and Bernardo and Nico will do the rest. And that turned out to be the case. Like, Doku was just drifting around everywhere, creating chances. With through balls, he created 2 big chances created, 4 key passes. His movement, his intelligence, his work rate, his dribbling as well. Really, really, really impressive. And so fluid. And then you had Phil Foden, of course. Ignore the ratings. The ratings are irrelevant. Use your eyes for these. Ratings sort of show some stats, but they don't show the influence in the game. Phil, behind, those guys, knitting everything together. Really mature performance. Gundogan-esque, I would actually say. Very Gundogan-esque in terms of the composure of his performance. Not necessarily the headline grabbing of maybe a Doku or a Cherki or Haaland. But he got his assist, of course, from Nico O'Reilly too. But yeah, just composed. And at one point as well, we saw him do a tactical foul. Buzzing. I know it's really weird, but to see him do a tactical foul is so exciting, because that is the dark arts. That's the mature stuff that the great players know how to do and when to do it. And Foden, look, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and the whole performance, from that midfield onwards. No, Nico Gonzalez was excellent, by the way. Nico Gonzalez, sometimes, obviously players can look even more impressive when you see them in the ground and so on. And I know I don't go to every single game, but watching Nico Gonzalez there in person today as well, you see how physical and aggressive and tough the Premier League is, and Bournemouth are relentless. The amount of times Nico Gonzalez just turned away, he just literally did a body feint and just turned away from Bournemouth's pressing. It was so good, man. Like, he is getting better and better and better, and he's understanding what he needs to do in that role. So good. Like, he's going to be an elite level player. I've got absolutely no doubt whatsoever that this guy is going to go to the top. I said a couple of days ago, in 2 years' time, he'll be seen as one of the best midfielders in world football. It might be a year's time at this point. Like, he is going to be a starter potentially, even when Rodri returns. I like this formation. I would have Nico where Bernardo is and Rodri back where, in the centre when they're there. So it's it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I thought Bernardo was good today as well, by the way. Bernardo does not get the credit he deserves, but he had a really smart game. Like, as you saw there, he was dropping back, covering pretty much everywhere on the pitch, but mainly that right side channel when Nunes or Cherki got forward as well. And he was smart. He was concise. The amount of times I saw him nip into challenges and win the ball back, really, really, really good from Bernardo Silva. Look, not a flashy performance, but a smart performance. And you need that in your team. If you've got a Cherki, Doku, Foden, and whatever ahead of you, you need your Gonzalez. You need your Bernardo Silva, and that's really impressive. It's really, really impressive. I need something, a metaphor for humble pie. I don't know. I haven't got any pie to swallow, but I'm just gonna. Delicious, absolutely delicious. That is the humble pie I've just swallowed, and it's about Matheus Nunes. Let me just get a little bit closer to the webcam. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Matheus Nunes, I want to formally apologise for everything I've ever said about you as a Manchester City player. I've had my doubts about your quality. I've had my doubts about your consistency. But right now you are playing at a level that's absolutely remarkable, and you're making people like me look like the idiots that I actually know I am. Nunes, absolutely fantastic. Look, I've definitely had my doubts over the past, and I think a lot of us have, even being honest. But right now, I've got to give him the credit that he absolutely deserves. Nunes is playing so well, man. Up against one of the best players in the league this season. Semenyo's been getting shouts of being the best. Obviously ridiculous. Haaland is clear. But I never hated on him. I don't want to say haters. I don't think I ever hate any player. I had my doubts. At times frustration last season, but I want to say sorry. I'm humble enough, and I always want to be wrong. Like I won't apologise to you, Nerlin, ever, never, because no. Just to wind you up. Yeah, but I've always had, I want to be wrong. I want every player to succeed at Manchester City Football Club. And Nunes was absolute, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. And the thing is, to me, what I'm really excited at, what I really like is that we're not praising Nunes for, what we praised him for last season, where he used his pace to get forward and get assists or whatever and look like a really fun attacking right back. We're actually praising him for his defensive solidity. Like right now, like he's playing with a real just composure. And that's the best way I can put it. Like there's one sort of cover back where he tracked back really well and sort of used his strength to push the guy off the ball. And a couple of times where he got back defensive and he was so strong in the challenge. He won. Look at this. 7 out of his 8 ground duels. That's really, really impressive. And of course, accurate passes is not the highest, but he did his bit. He was aggressive. He was strong. I think Guardiola said that the fullbacks were outstanding. And absolutely, I think he looks really good, man. He looks really good. And as Quicksilver's just pointed out, maybe he's very coachable. Look, Guardiola keeps repeating the word coachable at the moment. Like maybe it's his new favourite word, but I don't think it's a coincidence. I think Guardiola is very much telling the players who, if you want it, the ones that will listen and are the ones that will improve are the ones that will be in the team. Because there's a whole bunch of players right now that are potential. You look at this Manchester City side. I'm going to show you, the lineup right now. Look, Donnarumma, Vardy, Diaz, they're not really potential, but Gonzalez, Nunes, O'Reilly, Cherki, Doku. They are very much potential, in my opinion. Reinders, Savinho, Marmoush, Nori, Trafford, Rico Lewis, people like Kusanov, Oscar Bob is not there. There's so many players that I would put in the potential category, of who've got a lot to prove and a lot to learn. Like more than half the squad are in that situation. And I think Guardiola, when he talks about, the players being coachable, he talks about, Nico Gonzalez being very willing to learn. Now he talks about Nunes, people like that being coachable. Yeah, I think, to be honest, that's Guardiola, in my opinion, sending a message. I could be wrong. It could just be his new favourite word, as I'm saying. But I think he recognises that this Manchester City side isn't one with David Silva, Aguero, Vincent Kompany, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Fernandinho, isn't one blessed with loads of world-class players immediately. It's got a bunch of players that are much more prospect-led right now that need that coaching and need to improve. And I think Guardiola's challenging those players to listen. He's challenging them to take it in and absorb because Guardiola's a master, And as he said, the players that want to learn, not just from Pep, but from his teammates, from the coaches, from themselves, who are self-reflective, they are the ones that will go furthest in this game. And I think Nunes, look, maybe I was a little bit harsh on Nunes a year or two ago. It was frustrating. I think, to be honest, I still stand by what I said. Nunes in the middle a couple of years ago, it wasn't anywhere near good enough for Manchester City's level at that time. But Nunes has improved as a right back. He's locked in, and I always admired his personality and his commitment to the squad role and commitment to improving. And look, I do actually believe, and even if you'd said 2 years ago to me, I promise you, I'm not just making this up, that Nunes was still in the squad and playing regularly, would he have got better? Yeah, I do. I believe most players who want it will get better if they hang around and train with the best players in the world. I'm not just making that up. I think there was always a good chance Nunes could have got better. And I don't think it was impossible. I'm just really impressed in the adaptation to that role because it's really good. And as I was saying, it's not just because he got forward really well or anything like that. It's because he's defending really well. He's focused. He's switched on. And right now, there are not many great right backs in world football. And look, if these performances of Nunes this season, has Livramento generally done anything better? I'm being serious now, man. Like, Has he done anything better? And is there anything that Guardiola can't do? And you're right, Miles. You're right, absolutely. And as I said now, mate, he's worked incredibly hard, and I massively respect that. And he's turned into a really good right back. I'm not sure he's a 9 out of 10 right back, but these performances are an 8 out of 10 minimum. And as I said, if this was if this guy was a young 22-year-old English right back right now, It'd be linked to all the top clubs and 50-60 million pounds being muted as the fee, if not more, because the performances he's putting in right now, they're solid, they're fast, they're excellent, and we know he's good technically as a midfielder. Look, there's still things he can improve on, absolutely, but I've been really impressed with him, genuinely impressed, and I love. Maybe I feel harsh if I was a bit too harsh on him, frustration maybe. But it's never personal, I want all City players to do really well. I don't really dislike any City players unless they're an absolute off the pitch, and Nunes never gave me that impression. And I've got to turn this attention now over to your man Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly continues to go strength to strength. It does make me wonder if Nico Gonzalez and Nico O'Reilly could have started against Villa. Would we have won that? Almost certainly, in my opinion. I have to give Nico O'Reilly the highest of praise. He is a cracking footballer, absolutely fantastic. He just offers so much to this Manchester City side. Look, in the modern day when football has become so physical and space is at a premium, everyone's physically aggressive, everyone presses you so hard, and everyone is so physical from set pieces. If you've got a guy who's 6'5", who's trained in the Manchester City academy, so he's technically good, because they're all technically good. City don't produce players from the academy who are technically poor. Some technically better than others, but they're all technically good at least. And if you've got a guy who's 6'5", technically good, and once again, he's very coachable, and he's very willing to fight. That's the thing. Nico O'Reilly's obviously got attacking midfield instincts, but he's willing to fight, man. He's willing to actually battle, and that's one thing that surprised me about him. Not because I didn't think he wanted it, just because he's got defensive instincts. It's one of those things where you can work really hard, but to be good at it is actually very difficult. You have to have an instinct, you have to have a drive, and O'Reilly uses his stature and that massive 6'5" frame to really impose himself on people, and he's got pace, he's got those long striding legs to get forward and up and down the flanks like Nunes has as well, and he, once again, as the same with Nunes, he's up against one of the most informed, aggressive teams in the world, and they're the victim to Nico O'Reilly yet again. He seems to hate Bournemouth, and the goal, Phil Foden assisting him. Look, we've got two players right now, in my opinion, absolutely have to start every single game from the academy. That's O'Reilly and Foden. They're both absolutely excellent. You got Oscar Bob and Rico there as well, and James Trafford, 3 rotation players there, and that's 5 of a 22-man squad. That's a big old chunky percentage there of the academy lads doing their thing, and I know one of us bought back, but still it's the same thing. But yeah, go to Nico O'Reilly. Excellent, and the goal is brilliant. The way he sort of delays a little bit just for space to open up as the right back gets pulled out wide, and he just drives it into the bottom corner. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and he's showing right now that he's one of the best fullbacks in the league. Who's better at him at left back right now than Nico O'Reilly? I feel really bad for Rayan Cherki because I think he would have felt, I'm going to walk into this side, But Nico O'Reilly's emerged as this archetypal, brilliant 2025 player. If you were trying to design a fullback in the lab for the Premier League these days, you'd probably come up with something pretty close to Nico O'Reilly, because the physicality, the technical ability, the desire, the work rate, the fact that he's literally a lifelong City fan from Manchester, an academy lad. It's perfect, man. It's absolutely perfect. Brilliant. And I'll go to the goals as well, the movement, the football for the second goal in particular was so good, man. And then the third goal, it's just really, really, really good stuff. Vardiel Diaz, fine defensively as always. Donnarumma, I'm going to be honest, I actually thought he was soft, and I actually didn't think it should have been disallowed. But seeing the protestations from Guardiola is convinced that maybe I was wrong on that. I thought it was just a typical, they're all linking each other, but I can only guess that Donnarumma's gone, no, he's really pulled me down there, and I felt genuinely impeded. I can only presume that Donnarumma is very disappointed, and that he felt honestly wronged, and Guardiola was so passionate in his defence of his he's the player that I'm going to just side with Guardiola on it. I've got absolutely no reason not to, And I didn't think it was a foul at first, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm happy to say I thought it was just like the usual coming together. I mean, maybe it should be a foul, but I thought you see a billion of them all the time where players are linking or whatever. But they felt really, really adamant that it was a terrible decision. So I'm actually going to. I'm going to actually back the team with that and try to say if they think it was a foul, they're absolutely right. So I've gone for everyone there, As I said, Nico I think is fantastic, both of them. I agree the Savinho cameo was just dog shit. I'm a bit worried about Savinho because I maintain that in his first few months of his City career, he looked a really, really smart player. I thought he looked really encouraging. I don't know if he has the mentality to get back where he was. I don't know if the hammer blow and the confusion and the obvious lack of confidence in his position of the squad, given the fact that he wanted that move in the first place. He clearly wanted it. That means he was sort of semi-insecure or whatever. Because he played a lot of football last season, but the fact that he wanted to go says to me that he wasn't confident he was going to play, which to me suggests he wasn't confident in his conviction or his ability at Manchester City. Add that the failed move, I don't know, man, if he's got the confidence to find that that form again. I think he's been dipping, and that cameo was just turgid. He did one bit where he got past the fullback once, but everything he did, man, it was just dumb. It was worrying because that price tag is looming over him scarily right now. But I don't really feel the urge to linger on that after 3-1 Bournemouth win. Some people seem to want to talk about that only on Twitter, and I don't look that. To me, that's not my takeaway from the game. There's about 10, 11 more positive things that I want to talk about before I even get to that, and it doesn't deserve more than 30 seconds. But that's something to keep an eye on, my personal opinion. And of course, as well, when you look at the depth of that, we've got Rodri, Aït-Nouri, Savinho, Reinders, Marmoush. Then you got Trafford, Stones, Rico, then Oscar Bob and Kusanov. He couldn't make the bench. It's a really, really strong Manchester City side. And yeah, it's looking really good. We've got the depth now. And if you want to play Dortmund and make a few changes, you can bring in a whole bunch of players there that you can trust, that can do a good job. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's really exciting. We're looking in a really good place right now. And I know, weirdly, actually, look at the stats of this game, actually. We only had 48% possession at home. We are a different side these days, aren't we? Did it particularly change per game? First half. Second half, Bournemouth. Excuse me. Bournemouth nearly 57% possession. That's crazy, that, isn't it? But either way, the big chances were there. We cut through them a lot. Haaland could have his hat-trick as always. Nico could have had another potentially. There's more chances and even more room for improvement. We were the better side, absolutely, and we were definitely good value for the win against, and it needs to be stressed, one of the best sides in the league. They are a genuinely good side. They have been fantastic. It's only their second defeat of the season. August the 15th was their last defeat, which is genuinely months ago at this point. It's the Liverpool game in the first game of the season, and that was close as well. Bournemouth have been excellent, and I felt we were much better than them, and yeah, it didn't flatter us at all. Very, very, very encouraging. Best performance of the season, and I'm delighted to watch the development. Of course, there's things to improve, more control of the game. We're still a little bit lax in possession. Cherki, of course, and co can get better out of possession, and they will do. And Guardiola was rightfully brought that up, and I'll find. There we go. He said the vision of the final third is so good. The consistency and the courage to play, but with the dynamics that we play, we need a little bit more time and adapt to the rhythm for the Premier League. In Swansea, made an assist for Omar, and after they make a goal today with 2 assists. He has a special talent that connects you with the people up front that is unique, but it's not just that needed. It's many things, and hopefully step by step he can realise what we need from him. That will come. His instinct clearly isn't to run aggressively. It doesn't mean he won't learn how to do it. I suspect he'll get better because I suspect he wants to get better, and to me that is the most important thing. But the most important thing always is, the two most important things are attitude, that's always the most important thing, and talent. If you've got, you've got talent and you've got the right attitude, you're going to go really far. I think Cherki's desperate to be one of the best players of all time, not just in the Premier League. I think that's how he feels in his head. He wants to be seen as special. That guy is obsessed with football. And I'm incredibly excited to see what he does. Guardiola said about Donnarumma, he saved 2 or 3 balls. He's a player who's not affected. Yeah, he won't. Someone asked about Trafford playing more. I love James Trafford, but look, it is what it is. I can't be bad with Donnarumma plays. Guardiola was very interested about the referees. He said, "And 1 decade here, we know each other quite well." So it's not about the referees. So I'm pleased with what we'd achieved with City despite everything. So good. Yeah, I saw it, and don't worry, I don't call the officials and referees. I'm not the manager that. What in the past, a lot of previous managers have done it. I don't do it. But I said many times, I know all the referees. I know them for 1 decade. Perfectly what is going in the stadium. I know. What's he implying there, man? Interesting. Doesn't seem happy. Doesn't seem happy at all. Pitch, good to meet you, mate. Good to meet you, man. Yeah, I met a few Blues today. It was lovely. Thank you so much, mate. It was good to have the chat before the game. Pitch, great name. Yeah, it was lovely to meet you, man. Also, thank you so much. Well, that's good, by the way. Craig, I'll get on to you in a second. Guardiola said Matheus and Nico have been outstanding, and they have, absolutely. Craig, you're an absolute legend, mate. He says, breakfast sorted, mate. Thank you so much, mate. Oh, you're an absolute superstar, my friend. I've not had dinner yet, to be fair, pal, so maybe it's going to be dinner. No, yeah, thank you so much, Craig. As always, I massively appreciate it, mate. Yeah, mate, I love you. Thank you so much for the support. Massively appreciate it. It's a good way to end the video. I'm going to end it there because I'm knackered. I've got to varnish the kitchen now. Not kidding. I've done 1 coat this morning. It was really good. 1 coat of the water tops. Now I've got to do another. Thank you for watching. You're all absolute legends, and I will catch you all soon and tomorrow for 5 things learned, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be a very good one. Give the video a like. Up the Cherki, Haaland, Foden, Doku, Nunes, Nico O'Reilly, Nico Gonzalez, Diaz, Vardiel, Bernardo Silva, Donnarumma Blues. Bye-bye.